Review of the 2022 Toyota Highlander. Just kidding, this is a 2002. It's been quite a ride so far. I'll see you guys on the other side of the intro video. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I'll see you on the other side. Let's get into this review of the 02 Highlander. I've always wanted to drive one of these because it is a little bit bigger version of my Toyota Avalon. Yeah, the Avalon's a sedan. I know this is an SUV, but if I were to pick one car size up from my Avalon, it would probably be this car. Okay, yeah, I know the RAV4s, and the RAV4 is probably smaller than my Avalon on the inside though. So there we go to the Highlander. The styling is as simple as it gets, guys. And I like simplicity because, you know, the best designs often are simple, guys. Often they are. Pretty simple headlights. We've got fog lights on this one. I like the simplicity of this grille. You got this little detail going on here. You can hear the radiator fan spinning up to keep this bad boy cool on a warm summer afternoon. You can see under here, we got a little plastic skid plate under there. AC works great in this car. I know when I looked at the Carfax, it said that it had been recharged. This is a limited, which is the top of the line to my knowledge. We have some cool wheels here. They're pretty boring. I said they're cool, but they are boring. But you got a lot of tire on here, which is going to make for a very comfortable ride. These are 16-inch wheels, and the tire size are 225 by 70, so lots of tire on this car. And the tires will probably be pretty cheap to replace. Four-wheel disc brakes, as you guys would guess. Let's get this back profile here. And this was before the days, guys, where they put chrome all the way around the windows. We have a nice roof rack there. You can hook your canoe or luggage to. We have a towing hitch on this bad boy. You can see V6 four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. So we have that. Styling is very basic in the back. This car, there's nothing special about it other than you could beat it to hell and it's going to last a very long time. The looks are very neutral, so no one's going to say, oh, that car's ugly, because it's not particularly good looking either. It's just there. I do spy, do you guys see that, the cracked mudguard behind that front tire? I wouldn't even replace it. Screw it. This car's not, I mean, like, it doesn't look good to begin with. It's just neutral. It is what it is. But let's get on the inside of the car. A little disappointed here, guys. This has the standard, do you guys see the stick there to hold up the hood? And this hood is fairly heavy. We have the same engine that I have on my old school 04 Avalon, the V6 3-liter VVTi. Let me know what that engine sounds like to you guys. I think it sounds okay, but I hear a little like tapping on it. You can see the Toyota emblem is ever so slightly tilted towards me. Here's it dead on, so you can see that it's tilted. That's just kind of funny. It happens on cars, guys, as they get older. But I'm gonna close this down, and that's what should be on the underneath the bonnet. Getting inside the legendary 02 Toyota Highlander for the very first time. It's always exciting. I turned the car on already, hopefully to get a little bit cooled down. But let's figure out how the climate control works. It's an old car, guys. Well, relatively old, right? We're gonna click auto, AC, and we'll let it go. Temperature is gonna be right here. We're gonna crank it up so the fans relax. The fans chill a little bit, no pun intended. So this car just got traded in to us. It hasn't been detailed or anything, but I did look at the Carfax on it. There's one owner. There's almost 40 service histories, and most of them are just oil changes. So once this car is cleaned up, it's going to be awesome. It already is awesome in my opinion. So this car has a sweet spot in my heart because it's kind of like the natural progression from my 04 Avalon, which is an amazing vehicle. This vehicle has the same engine as my car does, so it has the 3.0 liter V6, which you got to make sure you're changing the oil on that particular engine. The Toyota 3 liter V6. A little pocket here, some crumbs down in there, nice and tasty. Mirror controls are here. Controls for the windows are here. This door panel's held up pretty well over the years. Again, so 02, this car's about 15, 16 years old. Soft touch here. Huge map pocket down below. We have a Jbl Sound System. I just love the simplicity. Now, this is not a motorized steering wheel adjuster. I want to say in my Avalon it is, but don't quote me on that. It's funny because once you have your steering wheel set, you never touch it again. Okay, so over 150,000 miles. I'm super excited to see how this car drives. Blinkers, very straightforward there. Tachometer, speedometer, and your gauges, and then your shift selection there as well. So standard cruise control there, wipers, and then lights over on this side. This wheel looks like almost like brand new, guys. So the wheels held up very well over the years. We have heated mirrors. Yeah, that's a cool little feature. Like that. So let's go over how this is all laid out up here. You have your clock up top, your climate control in the middle, and then your 6-disc in-dash, balling out of control, 6-disc in-dash CD changer. And I just love, shoot man, how easy would this be to take out and just put in like a navigation screen with like Apple CarPlay. So if I was getting this car, that's exactly what I'd do. $500 and you got yourself Android Auto, Apple CarPlay navigation. Pretty sick. We do have heated seats. You can see behind the shifter. We have an overdrive off function here. It's probably a 4-speed on this car, but don't quote me on that. That would be my guess. We have an ashtray down here. Huge cup holders. I mean, huge cup holders. And then down here, this kind of reminds me of some of our older RXs. You have this little closing box here. But it's pretty good size, although it is a little dirty. Little crumbs, little tasty crumbs in there. The armrests, they are a little bit discolored over the years, but they still, I mean, the leather's in great condition. It just needs to be cleaned. The seats very comfortable, and there is a little bit of wear, but something I would totally be okay with because this car's old. You know, I like having used cars that are a little bit older because cars are going to collect dents and dings over the years, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I like having the peace of mind, hey, if my car gets nicked in the parking lot, it's not the end of the world and I'm not out hundreds of thousands of dollars. But, you know, it's funny because I'm selling Lexus. So here's this for your sunglasses. Let's see if this sunroof still works. And it is a big sunroof. Good morning, sun. Or I should say good afternoon. Where's it at? I see that? I don't know. It's up there somewhere. We're going to close it back up. Slide. Okay, one touch right there. And then we'll close that bad boy. Like it quite a bit. How are these lights working? Just fine. Oh, whoa, this is different. Your garage controls up there. Light on the vanity mirror. How's my hair, guys? It's down today. I mentioned that in my Subaru Legacy video that I've done today. It's really slow here today at the dealership, so I'm doing everything I can to keep myself busy and learn about all the cars that we have on our lot. So that's why I'm doing a couple reviews today. This almost looks brand new. That's incredible. Very well done. I like this wood. Now I don't know if it's real wood. It feels like it's plastic, but who cares? It's held up really well. Huge, what do you call these glove boxes? Huge glove box here. For some of you, you might call it a pistol box, because that's where you keep your gun. And then the passenger door. So that's about it for the front here. Simple, just the way I like it. Very similar in terms of simplicity to my 04 Avalon, which is just a beast. Let's get in the back. I forgot to mention, I don't think I mentioned this, the Jbl Sound System. I'm sure that came as an upgraded option with this amazing 6-disc in-dash CD player. In the back, this door back here is held up very well, just like the front doors. We have two freaking awesome cup holders. Now, what does it say? Hold bottle only. Pour. Okay, so that's in French or something, right? Is that French? For my French viewers, let me know what that says. But it says, hey guys, don't put a cup in here because it's going to spill. You're in a car, you know that, right? You need to have a closable container. Mat pocket is in great condition. Nothing in there, but it's there. We have mat pocket on that side. The back of this chair is all leather. A nice little pocket here. Great leg room. I mean, it's pretty good. Is this seat adjustable? This seat is not adjustable. I cannot move it forward and back, I don't believe. And I cannot recline, I don't believe either. So that's a little bit disappointing that I can't recline the seat, but it's not a deal breaker. Looking at these seats, they are just as comfortable as the front seats. Let's pull this one down. No cup holders here. Why? Because you have 4 in total on the 2 back doors. Adjustable headrest, which is pretty standard in most cars nowadays. I'm just a little disappointed, and I'm gonna look back here. I'm a little, whoa, this is a double tonneau cover. See that? It comes out on this side and on this side. So that's pretty next level right there. I don't know how many times I've seen that. But unfortunately, the seat I don't think reclines, which is really disappointing in my books because you're sitting super upright back here and you have all this room back there that's not being used that you could really recline your seat into and get a little bit more comfortable. Shocks are working great on the rear hatch. I don't know if they're factory, but they're still working really well. Tons of space back here. I'm really impressed with the space. You have a handle. I don't know why you have handles back here, but you have extra space over here, and then a 12 volt. Sorry, I'm throwing you guys all over the place. A 12 volt back here as well. Let's see what's under this mat. I don't know. Guys, this is the first time I've been in this vehicle, so there you go. A full-size spare with a pencil that came with the car, I'm sure. But there you go, full-size spare back here. Now this is just a 2-row. I don't know enough about these older models. I know the newer models have the 3rd row. So I don't know about these older models. I don't think they have a 3rd row. But there you go. There's tons of space in the back. Here we go, guys. Taking her for a spin. The seat works, or the seat motors work as good as new. Seat buckle is gonna work brand new. Where's my rear view camera? All right, it's a 2002. Okay. Now you would probably have a rear view camera in an 02 LS 430, but this is a Toyota Highlander cut from a different cloth. So the mirrors are actually very functional. They work very well. But let's see what this car drives like, guys, after about 100, oh, hold on. All right, one of our gates in the parking lot is broken. That's why I said hold on, because I had to back out and go to a different gate. But let's see what this 02 Highlander has in store for us, guys. Smooth. Holy cow, is it smooth. Dare I say it's smoother than our RX, which isn't saying much because our RX, guys, that has 20-inch wheels on it, and that thing, it's a little bumpy. Sorry for me adjusting the camera. I'm just trying to get it just right. This thing is smooth as butter on the road. I haven't got on the highway yet to see if there's any 150,000 mile shakes in it or anything like that. But we will. I promise you, we will. Let's get in the throttle just a little bit. It feels good. It feels a little different than my Avalon. My Avalon, it feels like it doesn't have the same amount of torque as this. Now this could just be geared a little bit lower, so you get a little bit more instant torque on this car than my Avalon, but it feels pretty similar overall. Oh, brakes. Okay. That just reminded me that this car is old, has a lot of miles on it, and it's a big vehicle. My Avalon is not the greatest braking car. And I'm going to compare it to this car to my Avalon just because it's from the same era and has the same motor, and it's both Toyota. So the brakes on this are about twice as lethargic as they are on my Toyota Avalon, which is unfortunate. But visibility, guys, visibility in this car is really good. really, really good. So no problem there. But the engine is adequate for me. And then the brakes, I'm gonna have to get back to you on the brakes, but that first impression of the brakes was a little painful. Okay, there she goes, she downshifted. Ooh. I don't like that. I don't know if it's just because it's an older car, but when I got on the throttle, and it took a while to downshift, and it's gonna take me a while to get used to the transmission in this car, but it made like this raspy noise that I did not like at all. I'll get back on the throttle here. I'll back off so you guys can maybe hear it again. I mean, the power's decent, but it makes a lot more noise. And it feels like the noise is coming right up through, you know where the shifter is in the car, the gear selector? It feels like the engine noise is coming through that area of the car. I don't know if that's just a characteristic of this vehicle, but that's a little disappointing, is that it sounds like the engine is not insulated at all from noise, or the cabin's not insulated from the engine noise, I should say. So that's a little bit disappointing. But back to the feel of this vehicle. The alignment's just fine. The car's not pulling anyway. There's no shaking. There's no vibrating in the car at all. So very, very good for 154,000 miles. No issues with ride feel. The only thing I have a qualm with so far are the brakes, or the lack thereof. And I don't know if that's a characteristic with the Highlander in general of this generation. It's that, hey, there's just not a lot of brake power or brake feel. Or it could be just a character of this particular car with over 150,000 miles. Or it could be both. I'm not quite sure. And the other issue I have is that it's fairly quiet in this car, except when you get into the throttle, like now. Now, it's not that loud, it's just that the sound that it makes is a little concerning. It just sounds a little rough. But the car is performing just fine. It's just the sound that sounds a little off, in my opinion. Let's turn up the AC. I'm starting to get a little sweaty in here, guys. Some of you like that. You might like Kirk's sweaty auto reviews, and that's fine. I'm a sweaty guy. I'm cruising along here at about 62 to 65 miles an hour. This car's just fine. It's just trucking right along. Like I said earlier, like my hands are off the wheel and it's just going straight. So very, very impressed with how this car handles and how it feels here out on the expressway. And it's just impressive that this car, Toyota, has held up very, very well over the years. I said impressive, but not necessarily surprising. Almost expected for Toyota, right? I want to know, let me turn up the AC real quick. I want to know your thoughts, guys. If you own this car, you have experience with this car, I want to know what your thoughts on reliability are. If you've had any issues with this type of vehicle, put in the comments down below, because one, I think it's just interesting to know, and two, if I ever need to sell this car, I have a good perspective and history of these vehicles that I can, help other people with. Yeah, the brakes, this is the braking test right now. I didn't get onto them too hard. They work. You really have to press on them to get anything out of it. It reminds me quite a bit of the Subaru Crosstrek I was in yesterday. And that car's way smaller. So I'm not gonna say some of the worst brakes I've ever felt. There's an initial bite that's decent, and then it kind of goes dead for a while, and then you have to keep pressing really, really hard to get anything out of it. We're on the handling course now. Taking the first turn fairly well. We'll see what happens at the hairpin. I was expecting more body roll there, but this is the real test. Get on the brakes just a little bit, carry the speed. Oh yeah. Not a lot of power up this hill though. I'm not flooring it by any means, but my Avalon would have boogied a little bit more than that. Here's another turn. Yeah, it handles actually better than I was expecting it to. With that being said, I was expecting the brakes to be a little bit peppier than they are. They're just kind of lifeless, spongy. You keep pressing down on it and the car doesn't stop any quicker until you get to like the very deepest bowels and depths of the brake pedal. Then it actually starts slowing down. Man, what's up with the brake pedals lately in my review, guys? What's up with that? Is it just like what happens at the end of the summer? You know, the brake pedals start dying? I don't know. But we've made it to the final destination. Let's throw her in park and finish up this review. Getting a little bit more experience in this car, and the transmission and the engine. It gets up to speed just fine for a vehicle this size. I think this car has around 200 horsepower, just like my car. But it doesn't downshift as happily as my car does. It reminds me of my wife's Toyota Matrix. It's like you lay into the gas and it only downshifts when like the pedal is pinned all the way down. So this car is kind of similar in that regard, is that it's very lethargic with its downshifts. You know, you pretty much have to hammer it all the way down to get a downshift out of it, which is too bad. But I mean, once you get used to the car, it's not that big of a deal. But I feel like they could have done a little bit better with how the engine, you know, performs with the transmission. The transmission could do a little bit better job of downshifting a little bit easier. And the brakes, guys, I'm not even going to touch on the brakes again. I wanted to go over is just vehicles of this era. They're just so simple and utilitarian. I don't have to work through 800 different menus just to get to my fan speed on my climate control. I don't have to press a touch screen to work the volume on the sound system. So everything is very, very simple, easy to use. It's not over cluttered. And this is the way I like it. If I wanted, you know, I would, like I said earlier, I would probably change out that 6-disc CD changer for a modern nav unit just to kind of modernize the car just a little bit. But it would work very, very well in a car like this. The car's very decluttered, and I appreciate that compared to a lot of modern cars. That sums it up for the review of the 2002 Toyota Highlander with the V6. It's a great car if you can find it with decent miles on it. This one has 150. I'm not going to say it feels brand new by any means, but it's got a lot of life left in this car. I could see this thing going for 300,000 miles, no problem. Just make sure you're changing the oil on this particular engine, the 3-liter V6. Keep the brakes updated. I don't know if there's anything you can do to save the brakes on this car, but that's one of the only things I can nitpick on it. The versatility of this thing's amazing. It's going to be fine off-road and on-road. You're going to get decent miles per gallon. Nothing impressive though. But for the amount of money you're going to save with this car being it used with higher miles, it's going to serve you and your family very well, and you can beat the hell out of this thing. You don't have to worry about it. But that's it. Let me know what you guys think. See you in the comments below.